You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, Internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687. 687.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now, 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Sometimes writers feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
Keep on doing what you do, Rick. You're my favorite host. Favorite host.
You know this freedom is anything but free. What we have here depends on those who will fight for what they believe. When we stand together, there's nothing that we can't achieve. This nation of people standing as one in the name of liberty.
All right, this is Jessie. Wait, I'm on the wrong show. No, I'm not. This is America Off the Rails. Yes, I know most of you tune in to America Off the Rails expecting Rick Robinson. Unfortunately, Rick's not feeling real well tonight and twisted my arm, well, sort of, to sit in for him. It's something we do around here for each other now and again. So, what do I have in store for you tonight? No, it's not going to be Russia, and North Korea, and Iran. If you're a listener to my regular show, Jessie's POV, you know those are common topics on my show. Well, I am a quick study, and I actually do keep up on all news, not just international affairs. So, how about Mike Pompeo, the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, Rand Paul flip-flopping, and why he claims he did it, and even a little bit of Trump. Yeah. And what is France's President Macron doing in this country, and why is he here? Now, that one kind of crosses over. But I'm going to try and do this just like Rick would. So, we'll be back in just a minute to start the show properly. Literally 1 minute, and I'll be right back.
Everyone loves liberty. Our rights come from God, not the government, so why are you letting other people tell you what's best for your health care? Exercise your freedom with Liberty Health Share. Liberty Health Share is a community of people who voluntarily share one another's medical costs. Liberty Health Share is founded on the idea that most people truly want to help one another. Healthcare sharing allows members to do just that as a true community that supports one another in times of need. Liberty believes people should make decisions for themselves and their families. Members are able to take back the freedom to make their own decisions about their health care. Freedom from guilt or doubt about how your money is used. You have the freedom to direct your health care, not to be dictated to by bureaucrats. Stop letting others tell you what to do and join a community of like-minded people. Exercise your freedom. Join Liberty Health Share and take back the control of your health care while helping those around you. Call Liberty at 855-58-LIBERTY. Again, that's 855-58-LIBERTY for more information, or you can check them out at libertyhealthshare.org. Again, that's libertyhealthshare.org.
All right. Thank y'all for hanging in there with me while we take care of that quick ad. Now, I'm going to start off with the Mike Pompeo confirmation. He managed to get out of committee with a positive recommendation. Wait, this wasn't what was expected. Rand Paul had said, no, no, no. Well, he flip-flopped. And I was surprised to find that Marco Rubio didn't necessarily support, but decided that he would vote for the previous two nominations. Now, got a couple other things up my sleeve, but that's where we're starting. So, let's take a listen. My first clip is none other than Corker. And this clip actually gives me hope because he says something about good faith. All right, let's take a listen.
We would vote him out, positively. Now, Senator Coons is not here, and we operate in good faith. So I'm going to wait and hold the vote until he gets here. I know it's important for him. His flight to Washington was canceled. He ended up. So I just want everyone to understand I could call the vote right now, and he would be voted out positively based on what I know members are going to do. But I'm going to wait until Coons gets here.
So basically, Corker gave his word to Coons because he knew how important the vote was, that he was going to wait for him. And he did wait. And to me, that was somewhat of a surprising thing because, well, quite frankly, it was not something you expect when you're dealing with senators. How often do they actually do what they say they're going to do? We've all known that senator that went back on their word. But I thought this was pretty cool. I really do. So, I thought that was pretty cool. I am having a minor argument with my computer. It is nothing for you to worry about if you can hear the bings and bongs going on in the background. Now, we are going to discuss some of the other topics that came up on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee hearing today. I thought this was interesting to hear from none other than Marco Rubio.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I actually am in a unique position. I considered voting against the two previous Secretary of State nominees, John Kerry, who I had worked with. He sat right in that chair because I disagreed with him on many public policy decisions and in fact went forward and did many of the things that I thought he might do as Secretary of State. And then Rex Tillerson, who was here before us not long ago. I wasn't comfortable that he was committed to human rights the way I wanted him to be committed, and among some other things. And in both instances, it caused me to kind of go back and review what it is our function is.
All right, so that was Marco Rubio saying what he had considered their function, and here's what he had to say. Okay, and I thought that was a good thing. It shows that the politicians are actually being introspective. Are they possibly actually simmering down on a bit of this? Yes, the train wreck we all know is Washington. So that actually left me hopeful. All right, let's take another Rubio clip.
I'm not saying perhaps I'm wrong about what I think our function is, but I'll share what I hope and believe our function should be when we talk about advice and consent, because on the one hand, there are those who argue that our role is to sort of vote for people based on whether or not they're the kind of person we would have picked if we were president. And the other is whether our job is to basically vet the president's preference to see if they are qualified and capable and making sure there's nothing disqualifying against them. And also with the view, however, that the more important the position, the more deference a president should deserve. So if this was a subsecretary of something, the standard might not be as deferential as it would be someone who actually is in the line of succession and also works directly with the president.
I thought that was important. He reminded the world the Secretary of State is in the line of succession. And that's a valid point to make, because while all cabinet members are in the line of succession to some extent or other, housing and urban development is pretty far down that list. I mean, you got to really get there, or we have to be in a quote-unquote designated survivor type situation like you saw on CBS. Now, we are going to take a real quick 2-minute commercial break. Yes, a brief 2-minute commercial break. And then I will see you on the other side.
Black hoods in no faces.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
All right, I got to get used to those short commercial breaks. I'm clearly not used to them. But anyway, back to the Pompeo confirmation. Everyone was assuming he would make it to the Senate floor, but without a positive recommendation. So I have one more comment from Marco Rubio and his thoughts on Mike Pompeo.
The chairman's already outlined, when it comes to qualifications, irrespective of whether or not we may agree with them on public policy, I don't think anyone can make a credible argument that Mike Pompeo is not intellectually qualified and doesn't bring experience to this position that I think are on par with any of the recent nominees that have been offered up to this post, and in many cases exceeds it.
Okay, what you have to realize, Mike Pompeo especially, and yes, I'm going to bring a little bit of my show over here. You got to expect some bleed through here. Mike Pompeo, having served as the director of the CIA, knows what's going on in North Korea better than anyone else. He knows exactly what North Korea's game is. He knows what China's trying to do. He knows who the players are and what they've been hiding. What have they been trying to hide from the United States? He knows it all. He knows where the skeletons are buried. And going into negotiations with North Korea, with Trump threatening to decertify the Iran nuclear deal, could we have a better person at his side? I'm going to hazard a guess and say no. Pompeo graduated top of his class in West Point. He's worn the uniform, which tells me one other thing. He knows what it means to serve. I don't know whether he was deployed in harm's way. I didn't look into his military service record. I'm sure it's all over the internet. I didn't check it. I had an hour's notice I was doing this. Actually, less. So, but he knows the sacrifice of serving. Now, that makes me feel a little bit better about him. But Rand Paul brought up a couple of interesting comments today I can't let go unheard.
The other misgiving I've had with Pompeo has been his ideas on surveillance. He talked about having a database that would have lifestyle choices in it. I'm absolutely and unquestionably, unequivocally opposed to more databases by the government, and particularly a government that follows our lifestyle. I think that's just a recipe for 1984 on steroids.
I actually agree with them. That is 1984 on steroids. And if you haven't read the book, is that where our government is headed? Is that the government you want? I'm sorry, it's not what I want. And that is an idea that is appalling to me. Oh, yeah. Now, he went on to speak more about the databases that already exist.
And I have been assured by the president that there will be a discussion. The president has every bit of power to change the rules on who requires a warrant. We can do it here. Or the president could simply say tomorrow that the FBI has to get a warrant to search databases that were collected with a less than constitutional standard. We collect stuff in the 702 database and the 12333 database that are collected without warrants because we collect them on full.
Okay, first of all, how many of you have ever heard of those databases? I've heard of some of them, but not both of them. Let's continue.
Foreigners. I'm actually okay with that. But I'm not okay with them searching the database to see if you're a Trump supporter or to see if you're a Democrat supporter, depending on who's in power.
All right. Do you want the government knowing who you voted for in the last election, what campaigns you gave money to, or what political party? Yeah, there's a public record thing, but there's also the thing of putting all this information in one spot, where all somebody has to do is log into a database, either with a warrant or without one, and type in your name and get everything they want. And that's not cool. And even though it's Rick's show, even Host Kitty has an opinion. Yep, Host Kitty gave the database idea a hiss. Which, for those of you who aren't used to Host Kitty, that means he don't like it. A cat hissing at something ain't good news, folks. Alright. I've got just one more Rand Paul clip. And he claims he wasn't promised anything, but I found this to be very interesting why he did this.
I think these databases can be abused, and the president has assured me that there is going to be.
Okay, sorry, I didn't know I had that clip twice. I was hastily making clips tonight. So in any case, that wasn't the only hinky thing. And yes, I know hinky's a questionable word, but that wasn't the only hinky thing that happened on the Senate floor. Well, in the Senate Foreign Relations Committee hearing. At the beginning of the hearing, it was mentioned that there was a member absent. And let me see if I can find that.
I'm going to make some comments about our nominee, and I'm going to ask Senator Menendez to do that.
Okay, let's back up to the very beginning.
So the committee will come to order today. We're going to discuss the nomination of Mike Pompeo to be the next Secretary of State. We're also going to consider 2 other nominations and 5 Foreign Service Officer lists.
Okay, I'm looking for it. But one of the Republican senators was off giving a eulogy. And he said he would ask for some.
When the actual vote takes place, I know that most everyone has sent out a statement. Hopefully not everyone will need to speak, but I certainly want to accommodate people who wish to do so.
He was trying to accommodate those who wish to speak, but he was also concerned that there was one staunch Republican missing from this committee hearing because he was off giving a eulogy. And at the end, he asked for a Democrat to change their vote from no to present. Yes, that's what he did. Now, I know a lot of people would go, oh my God, he's twisting things. Well, they had to have 2 positive votes to get it out of the committee properly. Let's take a listen.
We will report him to the floor in a positive manner. I want to thank members of this committee.
Now, that was the end result. Give me just a moment to catch the rest of it. How that came to be. Because that was not the original outcome. And yes, I am playing a little bit of audio clip roulette. In fact, we are going to take another commercial break, and I will see you on the other side, hopefully with this audio clip all sorted.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
Thank you all for hanging in there. while we paid yet another brief set of radio station bills. Yeah, I'm getting better at these short segments, but I ain't doing them all the time. Not a chance. All right. Got a couple more audio clips, and you haven't heard these. I checked while we were in commercial break.
That we keep the vote open till tonight. That will allow you to achieve the goal of having Senator Isaacson cast his vote. You will have the appropriate vote that you wish to send it to the floor. You will not lose time because we will still be within the calendar day. So for the floor process, nothing will be affected.
All right. Senator Isaacson was away giving a eulogy. I didn't look into the details of the eulogy, but he was clearly away. So what would a rolling vote mean? This would essentially mean a rolling vote. And here's what Chairman Corker had to say about that.
Aside from knowing these other things that are infirmities, we're aware that a rolling vote, another member can come to the floor that's not a member of the committee and consider that invalid if there's not a quorum present. All they have to do is ask, was a quorum present when the vote took place?
So that would make the vote invalid if there's no quorum present. So here's what Corker was proposing.
So we really can't do that either. So I would just look forward to us voting again tonight at 11 o'clock. And if members want to go vote, I will
Mr.
call.
Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Having heard earlier this afternoon a request from my dear friend Senator Isaacson, whom I esteem greatly, this was not the fact pattern we had expected. Given the public statements by a number of the members of this committee, we expected to be in a different fact pattern.
Okay, here's where things get interesting.
I am recorded as voting against Mike Pompeo for Secretary of State, but I will vote present to allow him to move forward now without us having to wait until 11 o'clock at night. Because that just seems, frankly, I respect the ranking member's legitimate concerns about not creating precedent or infirmity, but to force all of us to reconvene at 11 o'clock tonight. I've spoken to Johnny. I know how very demanding and draining this eulogy was for him today. I will vote present.
So yet, a Democratic senator who had voted no was willing to compromise in order to produce the result that was eventually announced.
That is what I would have expected. Thank you. Thank you so much. With that, the clerk will call the roll.
That was pretty cool.
This is on the recommendation to send Mike Pompeo out to the Senate, to the full Senate, with a positive recommendation.
And it ended up being 9-11. Because that one senator saw past party lines and decided to compromise with someone across the aisle because he knew that his fellow senator would be exhausted, drained, tired, and, well, no one wants to come back to work at 11 o'clock at night. So I think that one is a big thumbs up. And that one gives me great promise that maybe Congress is losing some of this. Maybe a few members are putting aside the resistance, vote on strict party lines, and actually willing to work together. I know it was a small step because the fact pattern was supposed to be that Rand Paul voted against it. But he didn't. He flip-flopped. And that made all the difference in the world. All right. I think we have just about exhausted the Pompeo nomination. So we are going to move on to a couple of other things that happened today. And Sarah Huckabee Sanders brought up border control from the podium today. Let's take a listen.
A sovereign nation that cannot defend its borders will no longer be a sovereign nation. The Trump administration is committed to enforcing our immigration laws, whether people are part of the caravan or not. If you enter the United States illegally, let me be clear, you've broken the law, and we will enforce the law through prosecution of illegal borders. While we are committed to doing everything we can on the border to secure our nation, we need Congress to do their job as well and to pass legislation to close the legal loopholes and prevent us from securing our borders and protecting Americans.
Now, she's calling for border security. This is something I strongly support. Yeah, I support border security. Now, there's a lot of chaos going on with the border. We got California. Yes, California is kind of going, we don't want to be part of putting the National Guard on the border. Now, President Trump has also threatened to tie border crossings to the new NAFTA deal he's renegotiating between Mexico and Canada. And there is a lot of things going on with the border. There's that caravan. There's that caravan that basically reached the border, or will reach the border shortly. I'm not sure exactly what its status is, but I know it's getting closer, and it's hundreds of Central American migrants. Yes, they're on their final stretch of the journey to the United States, and Trump, and I have to say rightly, doesn't want to let them in. I am not against immigration. I am all for it. We are discussing approximately 600 men, women, and children from Guatemala, El Salvador, and Honduras. They had, as of Monday, they had 432 miles to go. And they were headed for California, where the California governor has called out just 400 National Guard to help bolster its border. And California is known as a sanctuary state. Now, what many of you may or may not know, if you're regular listeners to Rick's show, I'm sure you know this, but we will get on with this in just a moment. That some cities and counties in California are actually suing the state not to be considered part of the sanctuary law. Now, we are going to have to take this up on the other side of a commercial break.
Back down. You can stand me up at the gates of hell, but I won't back down.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. you'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now, 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
Thank you all guys for hanging in there with me tonight. I know I'm not quite Rick, but I am doing my darndest here. Now, when we left off, I was discussing the California cities rebelling against the state sanctuary law. And yes, there is 14 California cities and 2 counties that have passed ordinances in some cases filed lawsuits against the state's controversial sanctuary laws that largely prohibit local and state authorities from cooperating with ICE. And this is essentially a revolution in California. This is a serious revolution in California. And I think that it's one of those absolute insane things that we do need borders. That we do need to be a sovereign nation. And without borders, you are not a sovereign nation. And President Trump isn't taking things lightly on this issue. He's actually, they always say that sex trafficking and the border are sometimes tied hand in hand. So here's what President Sarah Sanders had to say about President Trump's bipartisan anti-sex trafficking bill.
Earlier today, the president signed a bipartisan anti-sex trafficking bill that provides law enforcement officials, including state attorneys general and local prosecutors, invaluable tools. The new law makes it clear to take legal action against websites promoting advertisements for this modern-day slavery. Human trafficking is one of the most barbaric types of exploitation, and President Trump has been clear that it has no place in our world.
All right, while she didn't address the border, many people are smuggled in or out of this country to be trafficked. And many people who cross the border illegally eventually end up being trafficked. I'm not saying all of them. I'm saying there is a percentage, and that needs to be looked at. Now, we know that caravan is headed for California, where they know the state government, at least, as a whole, will welcome them. But the list of cities and counties that are trying to buck the sanctuary state concept is ever growing. It is ever growing. Even in Orange County, California. Oh yeah. It is an amazing sight to see. Los Alamitos Mayor Troy Edgar argued his city was simply abiding by federal law. As a U.S. Navy veteran and council member for 12 years, and this is a quote from him, I feel strongly that this is constitutionally wrong. And he was referring to the state sanctuary law, which took effect the beginning of this year, and spreading sanctuary policies in effect for years in places like the Bay Area and Los Angeles. I don't think this is an immigration issue, but I take issue with the state stepping in the middle. Now, let me remind you, Sheriff Joe Arpaio tried to enforce immigration law. He was called out on it. In fact, he received a controversial pardon from Trump earlier this year. Senate Bill 54 limits communication between California police officers and federal immigrant agents about people detained by police or in jail awaiting trial. The exceptions, the people they can call ICE on, are those who have been convicted of a serious crime within the past 15 years and suspects in serious crime with punishable with prison time for which a judge has found probable cause. California officers are also not allowed to inquire about a person's immigration status. Now, I could go for the they can't inquire, but once you're in jail and it comes out, I'm sorry, that's when they need to be able to pick up the phone and go to ICE, because that means you've broken a second law. You just haven't broken the law and come here illegally. You've committed a secondary crime. Now, State Bill 54's author, Senator Kevin DeLeon, said that he's sad to see mayors and council members promoting these wasteful taxpayer proposals that only seek to divide our community. And he said these proposals won't make the communities any safer, bring back jobs, or grow our economy. And that cities cannot choose which laws they wish to follow. Well, California, my opinion, if the whole state can choose which federal laws it wants to follow, didn't you just set the precedent so your cities can choose what state laws to follow? Oh yeah, you did. So, blew that argument out of the water. Because if a state can cherry pick what federal laws to follow, then why can't the city? I'm sorry, you don't make any sense. Now, DHS has threatened caravan crossers with prosecution. And Sarah Sanders, as you heard earlier, backed that up today from the White House podium. And she's basically said that we are going to enforce the law whether you're part of this special caravan. Now, you wonder what my objection is to illegal immigration. We're one of the few countries, in fact, the only country I know, that has a lottery. And where you can literally apply and be granted a visa to come to this country without knowing that you will be able to assimilate into our society, without knowing whether or not you are a good fit for this country, and without knowing that you will be able to sustain yourself here. When you go to emigrate, when you go to emigrate to another country, they want to make sure you can actually provide for yourself and won't need public assistance. And I am doing a quick search on illegal immigrants illegal immigrants receiving food stamps. And by the way, I don't think they should be able to get food stamps. I'm sorry. If you are in this country illegally, you don't deserve a free handout because you managed to get here illegally. Now, the one caveat I will say, the one thing I would like to see Trump do is bring back the wet foot, dry foot program we had with Cuba. Yes, there was a wet foot, dry foot policy. And Trump said he's not going to bring it back. Okay, now what was that policy? I want you to understand it. And then we are going to have to take one more commercial break before I end the show. Because I'm probably long somewhere. Alright, the policy granted parole to Cubans for decades as a simple path to legal residency in the United States. All they had to do was get 1 foot on dry land. And it was, I thought, a great way of striking back at the Castro regime. It was an amazing policy. And in recent years, most people fleeing the island have done so for economic reasons, knowing that they could get an advantage if they came to the United States. But also, how many of these people were in fear for their lives? And how many of these people were oppressed? And look at the political nature of Cuba, and how we haven't traded with them since the 60s. You go try and find a Cuban cigar legally in this country, unless you know someone who's actually been to Cuba when the laws were more lax and brought them back, you're going to pay a huge price. Now, if you go to other countries, you can get them, but are you then violating U.S. law by buying a Cuban cigar? Yeah, you can run over the border to Canada and buy Cuban cigars. All right. We are going to take a 1-minute commercial break, and then I'm going to round out the show with one more immigration issue.
Everyone loves liberty. Our rights come from God, not the government. So why are you letting other people tell you what's best for your health care? Exercise your freedom with Liberty Health Share. Liberty Health Share is a community of people who voluntarily share one another's medical costs. Liberty Health Share is founded on the idea that most people truly want to help one another. Healthcare sharing allows members to do just that as a true community that supports one another in times of need. Liberty believes people should make decisions for themselves and their families. Members are able to take back the freedom to make their own decisions about their health care. Freedom from guilt or doubt about how your money is used. You have the freedom to direct your health care, not to be dictated to by bureaucrats. Stop letting others tell you what to do and join a community of like-minded people. Exercise your freedom. Join Liberty Health Share and take back the control of your health care while helping those around you. Call Liberty at 855-58-LIBERTY. Again, that's 855-58-LIBERTY for more information, or you can check them out at libertyhealthshare.org. Again, that's libertyhealthshare.org.
All right, thank you guys for hanging in there. Now, I want you to do a Google search for me. Yeah, go to Google, type in MS-13. Many MS-13 members are illegal immigrants. MS-13 is a brutal street gang that has set up deadly cartels marked by indiscriminate killings in major cities and small towns across the country. They have an escalating stranglehold on Long Island. Yeah, Long Island, New York. Now, recently, MS-13 has ordered Long Island police officers to be shot. This is the kind of people I'm discussing. And while not all MS-13 gang members are here illegally, while not all of them are, there are many of them who are. Now, for a gang like this to call for police to be targeted is appalling. I have one more last slightly lighter note before we hop on out of here. Donald Trump is doing it. Doing what? He's doing something the previous two presidents shied away from. Okay? He's upped his personal cell phone use. No, not a government-issued BlackBerry like the one you saw in Obama's hands. That was a government-issue one. It had the potential for secure communications, and it was approved. However, Trump has pulled out his personal BlackBerry on more than one occasion. And it is a potential disaster looking for a place to happen. You think that people can't target cell phones and listen in on those calls? You are wrong. You are very much wrong. The number of people in the administration who seem to think they're smarter than all the nerds warning about potential security vulnerability scrambles my mind. So, President Donald Trump is increasingly ditching government-approved communication methods to use his personal cell phone. And he's been doing it more often recently. Now, if he's picking up the cell phone to order a pizza, I don't care. I doubt any foreign country can gain intelligence other than maybe what kind of pizza Trump wants from that order, other than the time of delivery. But the NSA, National Security Agency, has told many aides, especially high-ranking ones, to assume their personal phones were already compromised by the time they took up their duties in the White House. Now, no one knows if Trump is using a Secret Service-approved device or has managed to retain access to his Android. All right, got a couple issues with Android, and I'm just going to say the biggest one. It has open source firmware. All right, folks, thank you all for bearing with me tonight. And you can follow me on Twitter at Radio Host Jessie. You can follow Rick at Radio Host Rick. And you can find me when I'm not hanging out on Rick's show on Jessie's POV at 9 o'clock every Monday through Thursday. I'm gone.